Good day of practice today. We went out there in shells for about an hour and a half and worked on a lot of different scenarios and situations. One thing, really focused on today was empty, defending it and throwing it around as well, reloading the back and making sure that our defense got looks at both people that do that, run the ball, throw it out of it as well. A lot of work on screens, a lot of loose plays today, being that we went so physical for the last few days. But overall, just a very high tempo, very efficient practice and getting ready for tomorrow's scrimmage.
Are you going to be looking for similar things in this scrimmage as the first scrimmage, or anything different kind of evaluation?
Very similar, but with improvement. Okay, and we want to make sure that we get enough reps of the twos playing against the ones, whether it be through substitution or whether we orchestrate it where the ones play against the twos for a series or two, to find out who can do it, right? To see who could play against better competition and earn themselves into the lineup some way, shape, or form. We've got to establish a two deep, and at the same time establish a sense for where the guys that need some development can be part of the picture, the big picture as the season goes along. So critical day. We want to make sure that we continue to cut down on penalties. Improvement today. Yesterday was okay. There was some improvement. Today there was drastic improvement and a very conscious effort to try to get that done. The leadership council themselves is handling penalties. And they're addressing it. They met as a team and make sure that they understand that we cannot be the same penalized team that we were last year if we want to accomplish the goals that we have. So, but overall, it's just it's camp, right? It's camp. It's keep our foot on the gas and go forward and really just take care of our business and go to work.
As far as percentage, if you had to put a percentage number on it, how far along do you think you are in establishing a full two deep, and how much will this scrimmage go in terms of pushing that number forward toward 100?
These mathematical questions, man. You're putting me to the test right now. You're going to take shots at my diploma and everything. I see you. It's hard to say until this scrimmage is over with. After this scrimmage, you should be 75%, 80% along the lines of what you feel can help us win, what you feel is going to help us win down the line, and what could at some point in time contribute during the course of the season. Tremendous amount of emphasis on special teams tomorrow. We have to find 3 guys at every position on special teams that can go. And we also want to make it a point for our players to understand our best players have to play special teams. Regardless of whether you're the starting running back, whether you're the starting wide receiver, starting linebacker, you're playing special teams. Unless you're the starting quarterback or an offensive lineman, you have to be involved on every single unit that we have in the special teams.
Do you see any guys that can carve out a role because of their special teams play who might not be a 1 or a 2, but you might have to play them?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a significant amount. And I think a lot of guys that have walked on that have they're pushing to earn playing time. And, again, when it comes down to playing time and trying to figure this thing out, we really don't, we don't judge anyone by how they got here, when they got here. It's just a matter of who is performing and executing at a high level. That's what we're looking for. And guys that understand how to do it exactly right. Okay, at least with the intentions to do it exactly right, because you're going to have the best, probability of having success on that play.
So how important is it with the backup quarterbacks to have a number 2 and 3, and how does the redshirt rule maybe impact what you do with those guys if you get an opportunity?
I think if they're ready to play, we're going to play them. I don't think we got to analyze the redshirt rule too much, because you could use it next year as well. So I think the one thing that we don't want to tread on is awarding playing time, because there is a rule they can play and then they could still save the year. I think if we establish that, I think our culture will take a downturn. So the playing time is going to be earned, and certainly we do want to give the guys an opportunity to play that have showed that they can, and we also want to make sure we create a role for everybody on this team, no matter how big and no matter how small. Everybody must have a role.
Is it pretty close between Braxton and Tyler?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Those guys are getting after it, and both have had really good camps. And every day, you're like, wow, that's another step, another step towards more progress, towards from decision-making standpoint to avoiding critical mistakes. The simplicity of not taking a sack in 2-minute drill and getting rid of the ball, in a sticky situation. To in the quick game when the route's not there, it's covered, defense jumped into something that stops it, being able to tuck the ball and run and practice that, even in a 7-on-7 drill. These guys are learning the details of what it is to become a really good quarterback, and it's really, really exciting to watch those 2 guys progress.
You've known Dallas Womack for a long time. How cool has it been reuniting with him up here in Eugene?
Well, I think what's cool about it is that he fits in with the culture, and the offensive line room is awesome. And they've taken him in just like they've taken everybody. So I think that's what makes it great. You know what I mean? I think anytime you've known somebody for a while, it's great to be able to coach them again. But I think the best part too, he also knows that he's here and he has to earn it. Okay. And so, but I want to say it again, the guys, the older guys, even the younger guys, our players do a great job of mentoring the younger guys or newcomers. You got guys like Kano Dillon, right? He's, what is he, about 31 years old? What's Kano? Kano's an older guy. He's not 31, you know, I'm messing around. But they do a great job of putting their arm around them and showing them how we do things around here. So transitions for those guys are great, and it's great to have him here.
What made him attractive when you were recruiting him in Alabama, and those traits kind of still carry over now?
Well, linemen, we always look for guys that have power, you know, that are athletic, that have a desire to be good, to be great, and that push and that are driven. And I have a critical factors list for the O-line as big as that tree right there. So I'm gonna email that one to you. You know, obviously that position is always going to be special to me. It's what I played. It's what I've always coached. And at the end of the day, the defense and the offensive lines have to set the tone for the way that we play football up front. So I forgot the question, but I hope I answered in some way, shape, or form there. Sorry about that. I was thinking about another question you asked about a rotation.
Back on that, Coach. Can you talk about what you've seen over the past year in terms of the line and what improvements you've enjoyed seeing out of them?
We're continuing to make progress towards playing with power, which, you know, it's all about getting your feet in the ground and making sure that that back is flat and you're knocking the line of scrimmage the other way. We have excellent offense and defensive lines in this conference, so you're tested every single week. We want to continue to progress and improve and increase our physicality. I'm sure that's the goal of every team in the conference. So we just spend an extraordinary amount of time doing that and working that so that we could become that type of team. So we recruit it that way as well. So it's something that's going to be an ongoing, never-ending process for us.
Coach Johnson said that the receivers are making that progress, but there's still mental mistakes that are in there that they have to work through and also kind of, I guess, gel a little bit more with Justin Herbert, to sort of paraphrase him a bit. What did you see out of them today, and how critical is this scrimmage in getting them along to be sort of game day ready so Justin feels comfortable with them when week one happens?
Sure. Well, today was one of the better days that we had. You know, penalties were really cut down. Alignments were excellent, and they really, you know, Justin is a precision, you know, passer. I mean, he could put it right where it needs to be 99% of the time. And for our offense to generate yards, move the chains, and score a lot of points, our receivers, our backs, our offensive line have to be on point, right? And it's not just about Justin making everyone around him better. We as a team, as an offense, we've got to do our job to make sure that we make Justin Herbert better and allow him to use his abilities. So what you've seen from them is tremendous improvement in not only alignment, but the way we're running our routes, the way we're blocking, which has been a big point of emphasis throughout the entire camp. You know, we ask our receivers to get in there and dig some guys out and play physical football. So they know that they're going to be evaluated and assessed by how they play with the ball in their hands or without the ball in their hands. And once they understand that, which I think they are, I think this receiving core is going to surprise a lot of people.
Now that Samson New's healthy, how does he kind of add to that what you've got going on there?
I love Samson. He's hard to block now. You know, he gets downhill in a hurry. And we tell the linemen, the tight ends all the time, buckle up. All right, Samson's in there. You better buckle up, because if there's recognition there and he sees it, he's going to strike you and knock you back. So and he has already. He's got a lot of fire to him, a lot of juice, instinctive, just a really good football player. He's developing, so we expect a lot of big things from him this year.
We have time for a couple more.
You feel pretty good about that spot. You've talked about Isaac Slade and
we do, you know, and Keith goes inside and outside as well. You know, he's done some good things on both spots. You know, Isaac's come along. It's great to have Lana healthy again. Troy is Troy. We know about him. You know, Adrian's the guy we've used inside, we used outside. MJ Cunningham's going to be a good player. So that position is trending upwards. I think we have some pretty good options there and some good depth. And all of them are critical pieces to our special teams play.
You mentioned tomorrow's pretty critical. Is the 2-week benchmark important for you to, after tomorrow's scrimmage, be like, okay, we're ahead of where I thought we would be, or behind where we thought we would be? Are you going to do that after tomorrow?
We're probably going to keep pushing. You know, we like to, 10 days out before game one is when we're thinking, well, now it's time to get 2 extra days of work on our first opponent. So 10 days out is where you really kind of want to sit down, get a full assessment, a real one, you know, make sure it's based on facts and what you've seen and what guys have done. But at the same time, make sure you're finding roles for everybody. Everybody has a role in this team. Everybody has to have a role, because all these guys are valuable, all right? And that's the way we coach it, whether it's perfect or imperfect. We have to find roles for everybody.
A couple weeks into fall camp, how do you feel about the health right now of your team?
You know, where's the wood? Let's knock on it, because so far, so good. And again, our guys really understand now how to practice like the pros do. When we're not on the ground, we're not tackling, regardless of whether in full pads or not, we stay up. And we've done a lot better job on that. Back in the springtime, we couldn't stay up. We were off balance, out of control, but we didn't quite understand what the purpose of the drill was. Now, today, I think we had one guy on the ground through 5 team periods and a 2-minute drill. That's progress, right? So we just can't praise it too much, right? We just gotta continue getting better and continue assessing the process.